You want bigger arms? Chris Bumstead has some of the best in the business. So, we're breaking down a workout built on the exact high-volume philosophy he uses to forge those championship-level biceps and triceps. This isn't just a list of exercises. It's the blueprint that helped turn a self-admitted weak point into a world-class asset. If you're ready to learn how to train arms like a champ, you're in the right place. Today, we're digging into the principles behind the workout structure that has been so crucial to his journey. While Chris Bumstead routines evolve, the core philosophy remains the same. We'll explore why he often starts with triceps, how he uses techniques like drop sets to spark new growth, and the form cues that let him push his muscles to the absolute limit while protecting his joints. This is a masterclass in arm building logic.
Oh, wow!
Before he even thinks about lifting heavy, the workout starts with a strategic one-two punch. Warming up and pre-exhausting the triceps. Bumstead is a huge believer in this, not just to get blood flowing, but to safeguard his career. He's talked about managing elbow and shoulder pain. And this is his first line of defense. By fatiguing the triceps first with a focused isolation movement, he makes sure that when he gets to the heavier presses, his muscles are the first thing to give out, not his vulnerable joints and tendons. His weapon of choice for this is the triceps row pushdown. The goal isn't ego lifting. It's about establishing a killer mind-muscle connection and flooding the triceps with blood. Exercise 1. Triceps row pushdown. The session kicks off with a few warm-up sets of 15 to 20 reps to get everything firing. After that, it's time for the real work. A couple of high-intensity working sets, often incorporating drop sets to really crank up the volume. Here's how to do it right. Pick a weight you can handle for about 10 to 12 clean reps. As you push down, focus on pulling the rope ends apart at the bottom. This little trick maximizes the squeeze on all three heads of the tricep, especially the lateral head that builds that thick horseshoe look. Your elbows need to stay glued to your sides if you're rocking your body. You're defeating the purpose of an isolation exercise. Once you hit failure, you can immediately drop the weight by 20 to 30% and go to failure again. That burn is a sign your triceps are primed for the heavy hitters to come. With the triceps awake and pre-fatigued, it's time to bring in the big guns. Chris often moves to Incline Dumbbell Skull Crushers. Doing these on an incline bench puts a greater stretch on the long head of the tricep of the three heads and the one most responsible for overall arm size. He typically programs these for round 3 working sets, aiming for the 10 to 12 rep range. Exercise 2. Dumbbell Skull Crushers. As you lower the dumbbells, think about keeping your elbows pointed straight at the ceiling. They're the hinges. A classic mistake is letting the elbows flare out, which just shifts the load to your shoulders. To take the intensity up a notch, a common advanced technique is to push past failure by slightly altering the form. Once you can't do another strict rep, you can let your elbows drift back a bit, turning the movement into a hybrid skull crusher press. This recruits a little help from the chest and delts to squeeze out a few extra growth-inducing reps. It's a smart way to manipulate biomechanics to take a muscle beyond its normal failure point, which is where the real magic happens. Now that the triceps are toasted, it's time to give the biceps some love. You'll almost always find preacher curls in Bumstead routines, and for good reason. By locking your arms onto the pad, you completely eliminate your ability to cheat with momentum or shoulder swing. It forces a level of isolation that's tough to beat, putting all the stress right where you want it, on the biceps. Exercise 3. Easy bar preacher curls. This is where the heavy bicep work often begins. A common structure is 3 working sets, sometimes with a brutal twist. He frequently uses drop sets here to chase an insane pump and maximize metabolic stress. Your focus should be on the quality of every single rep. Control the negative, taking a good 2 or 3 seconds to lower the bar. Feel that deep stretch in the bicep at the bottom, but don't rest there. Explode up and squeeze hard at the top, imagining you're trying to build that bicep peak. Using an easy bar can also be a risk saver compared to a straight bar, letting you focus only on the muscle. Honing your technique on this single movement is one of the surest ways to add size to your arms.
If you're someone like me with small biceps and they won't grow, learn how to do, first of all, learn how to do one thing perfectly, and I'm telling you to learn how to do preacher curls perfectly, and your arms will grow. It's just the easiest way to just make sure you're focused on your bicep and just pull as hard as you can. Squeeze your biceps and they'll grow.
After laying the foundation with a heavy, isolating curl, the focus shifts to adding detail and hitting the arm from different angles. This is where the artistry comes in. Exercise 4. Alternating dumbbell curls. For this movement, you'll again aim for around 3 sets of 10 reps. A great technique to add thickness to the arm is to focus on developing the brachialis and brachioradialis, the muscles that sit under the bicep and flow into the forearm. Developing these muscles pushes the bicep up, making the peak look higher and creating that awesome forearm tie-in. To really emphasize them, you can experiment with how you curl. Control is the name of the game. Don't just swing the weight, squeeze it, feel the muscle work through the entire range, and own the negative. This isn't about the number on the dumbbell, it's about the quality of the contraction. Exercise 5. Triceps cable isolation movement. Returning to triceps, the goal now is a final, complete burnout with an exercise like a single arm pushdown or a cross-body cable extension. Working one arm at a time is a fantastic way to fix any strength imbalances and pour all your focus into one muscle. The main cue, again, is to keep that elbow locked in place. Your forearm should be the only thing moving. Fight the urge to let your shoulder drop or your body twist. Squeeze for a full second at the bottom, filling every fiber in your tricep light up. This is the finishing touch to ensure no part of the muscle is left untrained. The workout ends with a savage, high-rep finisher designed for one thing: a skin-splitting pump. Enter hammer curls. Hammers are clutch because they directly target the brachialis. For any lifter trying to create the illusion of a fuller, more complete arm, building up the brachialis is non-negotiable. Exercise 6. Biceps hammer curl cable. A killer way to structure this is with 2 main sets. The first set can be a standard 10 to 12 reps, focusing on perfect form with a neutral, thumbs-up grip. Keep those elbows tight and don't swing. But the second set is where you really build character. You could perform 10 full reps, then immediately drop the weight and go for broke with an all-out, gut-busting set of 25 plus reps. This is purely about pain tolerance and driving as much blood and nutrients into the muscle as possible for a massive growth stimulus. The pump will be ridiculous. It's the final nail in the coffin, ensuring you crawl out of the gym knowing you left it all on the floor. So there you have it, a workout blueprint built from the high volume, high-intensity principles that Chris Bumstead uses to craft his world-class arms. It's a powerful mix of old-school heavy lifting and smart, modern techniques. The strategy is built on protecting the joints with pre-exhaust work, then launching an all-out assault with heavy basics, strict isolation, and brutal, high-rep finishers to chase a massive pump. The takeaways are simple: volume is your friend, but never at the expense of good form. Use advanced techniques like drop sets strategically to push beyond failure, and remember that every exercise should have a purpose, whether it's building raw mass, adding thickness, or creating an insane pump. This isn't just a random collection of exercises, it's a testament to the intelligent effort required to turn a weakness into a weapon. If you found this breakdown helpful, please subscribe for more deep dives into how the best athletes on the planet train. Drop a comment and let us know which one of these exercises you're most fired up to try.